Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Sodananda Rajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Amuna Tira Panachari Amuna Tira Panachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori, Jai Kishore Kishori. Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. श्री श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज भूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय। गंगा मई की जय। यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। संकीर्तन यज्ञ किया। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र किया। समावित भक्त वृंद किया। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru Sri Gaurang. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, Text number 39. Raya kalatram pasava sutadayo griha mahi kunjarako shabhutaya sarve kama kshana bhangurayusha kurvanti martasakyat priyam chala raya kalatram pasava sutadayo गृहामहि कुंजरको सर्वेर्तकामाक्षणभङ्गुरायुषा कुर्वन्ति मर्त्यस्य कियत् प्रियं चला रायकलत्रं पशव सुतादयो गृहामहि कुञ्जरकोशभूतया सर्वे च कामाक्षणभङ्गुरायुषा कुर्वन्ति मर्त्यस्य कियत् प्रियं चला Like to? Rayaha, wealth, Kalatram, one's wife and feminine friends, Ashava, domestic animals like cows, horses, asses, cats and dogs, Suta Adaya, children and so on, Griha, big buildings and residences, Mahi, land, Kunjara, elephants, Kosha, treasury house, Bhutaya, other luxuries for sense gratification and material enjoyment. Sarve, all. Artha, economic development. Kama, and sense gratification. Shanabangura, perishable in a moment. Ayusha, of one whose duration of life. Kurvanti, effect or bring. Martyasya, of one who is destined to die. Kiyat, how much? Priyam, pleasure. Jalaha, flickering and temporary. Translation: one's riches, beautiful wife and female friends, one's sons and daughters, one's residence, one's domestic animals like cows, elephants and horses, one's treasury, economic development, and sense gratification. Indeed, even the lifetime in which one can enjoy all these material opulences are certainly temporary and flickering, since the opportunity of human life is temporary. What benefit can these material opulences give to a sensible man who has understood himself to be eternal? Purport. This verse describes how the advocates of economic development are frustrated by the laws of nature. As the previous verse asks, Kim Vishayo Papadana? What is the actual benefit of so-called economic development? The history of the world has factually proved that attempts to increase economic development for bodily comfort through the advancement of material civilization have done nothing to remedy the inevitability of birth, death, old age, and disease. Everyone has knowledge of huge empires throughout the history of the world: the Roman Empire, the Mughal Empire, the British Empire, and so on. But all these societies engaged in such economic development, Sarvertha Kama, have been frustrated by the laws of nature through periodic wars, pestilence, famine, and so on. Thus, all their attempts have been flickering and temporary. In this verse, therefore, it is said, Kurvanti martyasya kiyat priyam chala. One may be very proud of possessing a vast empire, But such empires are impermanent. After 100 or 200 years, everything is finished. All such positions of economic development, although created with great endeavor and hardship, are vanquished very soon. Therefore, they have been described as chala. An intelligent man should conclude that material economic development is not at all pleasing. The entire world is described in Bhagavad Gita as dukkhalayam or shashvatam, miserable and temporary. Economic development may be pleasing for some time, but it cannot endure. Thus, many big businessmen are now very morose because they are being harassed by various plundering governments. In conclusion, why should one waste his time for so-called economic development, which is neither permanent nor pleasing to the soul? On the other hand, our relationship with Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is eternal. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. The pure souls are eternally in love with Krishna, and this permanent love, either as a servant, a friend, a parent, or a conjugal lover, is not at all difficult to revive. Especially in this age, the concession is that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Aiva Kevalam, one revives his original relationship with God and thus becomes so happy that he does not want anything material. As enunciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va, jagadisha kamaye. A very advanced devotee in Krishna consciousness does not want riches, followers, or possessions. Raya kalatram pashava sutadayo griha mahikunjara kosha bhutaya. The satisfaction of possessing material opulences, although perhaps of a different standard, is available even in the lives of dogs and hogs, who cannot revive their eternal relationship with Krishna. In human life, however, our eternal dormant relationship with Krishna is possible to revive. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj has described this life as arthadam. Consequently, instead of wasting our time for economic development, which cannot give us any happiness, if we simply try to revive our eternal relationship with Krishna, we'll properly utilize our lives. Om Ajnanatime Andasya Jnananjana Shalaka Chakshur Unmilitam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So, this is a very important, very beautiful verse here, especially when we celebrated the biggest festival of the year, Sri Radha Ashtami Mahamahotsav. Because Prahlad Maharaj is truly a very extremely great devotee, superior quality, and he has the qualification that is that he has learned these invaluable teachings from the best spiritual master Narad Muni. So he is enlightening his friends, little friends in the school, who are trained to become sense enjoyers by their parents, by their society, because it was a demoniac society led by the greatest of the demons, Hiranyakashipu. He was a totally materialistic man. And we see a kind of similar thing even today. If you walk outside, you see big billboards. If you open the internet, iPhone, tablet, computer, laptop, and you want to see the news, so many different advertisements by these sense enjoyers inviting you to enjoy with your senses more and more till you drop dead. Even if you are an old man, they say, come to some bar or some dance club, and the guy is hardly able to walk. He has so many problems, arthritis, sciatica, all kinds of pains in the body. He's already 80 or 90 years old. But he is taught that you can still enjoy, find some old woman, anybody, and then try to dance. The doctors are telling him, take it easy, don't try to dance too much. But the society is, the messages from these demoniac enterprises are pushing him. So, Atma Tattvam, he's never given a chance to understand what is the real purpose of life. I'm going to die in 5 or 10 years. I'm 80 years old. Now, shouldn't I find out what will be my future? I want to make my future bright, etc. Instead of inquiring about my happiness goals, how I can achieve the permanent happiness, how I can find myself as a soul, how I can find the super soul, how I can find my best friend, and how I can end this miserable material life. So you are all young devotees. You may think old people may have many bodily problems, but we are young guys. We can dance for 4, 5, 6 hours. No problem. We can play mridanga for 5 hours. We can play kartal for 6 hours, non-stop. I went to Sadhu Sangha retreat. You know, it was in North Carolina. And the devotees, everybody was so fired up. There were like 2,000-3,000 devotees. Anybody went from here? So you came also. Wasn't it very nice? It's extremely. So even though I'm an old man, I feel like just keep on dancing. My feet are saying, no, don't do it anymore. You're punishing us. But I don't want to stop because the mood is so much transcendental, spiritual, ecstatic mood that was created by the music festival of the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by Indradyumna Maharaj and the other very good devotees. So you don't want to stop. But that dancing in Kirtan is the key to go back to Godhead and dance with Krishna and have picnic party and have fun every day, all the time, eternally. Whereas this dancing in the clubs that people they try to do, what is it going to bring them? More misery, more pains and more troubles. Because this world, as this verse is explaining, is basically a miserable place, dukhalayam ashashvatam. Why? Because all the souls who have some issues, some agenda to the arrangement of the Supreme Lord Krishna, they are coming here to the material world to prove that I am right, that I am great. Something they want to prove, most of them anyways. So they get into competition that you are great or I am great, let's see. So in this competition mood, they start pulling each other's legs. And then there's a mud fight. You know mud fight? So everybody is muddy and everybody is trying to pull the other guy down in the mud. So because of that mentality, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yayadam Dharyate Jagat. The world is filled with these living entities who enjoy to make other person miserable. That is their only enjoyment. If you are miserable, then I am very happy. If you are happy, then I am miserable. I can't tolerate you being happy. So everybody wants to see the other guy unhappy. That's why this material world becomes, even though it is temporary, it becomes more miserable because everybody is in competition that how many people today I can make miserable. There was a Mughal emperor in India some years ago. He had taken a vow that I take lunch every day. Only if you, he told his military generals, that only if you bring me 80 pounds of sacred threads, then I'll take my lunch. Otherwise, I'll be fasting. So his generals, they realized that this guy wants the 80 pounds worth of sacred threads cut from the brahmanas, cut down, kill the brahmanas and collect their sacred threads and bring them to him. And if we don't bring him, what's going to happen? He's going to kill us. So they go out and look for the brahmanas to kill. So this went on for many years. So that's how the Muslim religion spread very fast in India. Other places also, there were fanatic kind of Muslim kings like that. So the idea is to torture, harass, punish, and kill people. Even you might be knowing terrorism is going on in different places of the world. The terrorists, they go crazy. Suicide bombers. Just in Tunisia, people were enjoying at the beach, having fun. Suddenly the guy comes and blows up everybody. 50 people killed. So many got injured. In Thailand, Bangkok, another guy, terrorist guy, with a remote control. There is a small gazebo temple of Lord Brahma in the square of Bangkok, center square. And he pushed the button from a distance, and he had the loaded truck or car with these explosives, blew up, killed massively, so many people, so many thousands injured, buildings were shattered, devastation. So in Middle East also, every day something, 100 people get killed, 50 people, 100, 200, every day somebody is killed. So these people, I don't know what's their mentality, what are they trying to achieve by just blowing up people. And there are material miseries that are given from the material nature that are already there. What is the need to create more miseries for more people? Because, as you might be knowing, in California right now, there's a drought. It's like a famine kind of situation. Northern California, a little bit north of San Francisco, there's a beautiful lake. And there are $1 million houses around the lake. People are enjoying life. But suddenly, there is forest fire nearby. And it's a big forest fire. It's been going on for a while. And the animals in this forest, they're trying to save their lives. They're running here and there, but they're all getting killed. So this forest fire is spreading, and it's coming next to the houses, the beautiful homes. Now the lake incidentally had water, but now it's dried up, there's no water. They don't even have water to flush the toilets, no drinking water, no water. So it's a very severe kind of a drought situation. And people now are forced to run away from their homes to save their lives. Everything they saved, the beautiful furniture, the paintings, all their good stuff burned to ashes with the house. And they are left with nothing. Yesterday they were millionaire, today nothing. So this is material nature, how it punishes the living entity. In India, eastern India, like Assam and Bengal, Bangladesh, even Mayapur had a flood. Remember? Just a few days ago, Mayapur, the deities, Lord Nrsimhadev deity, water. Some devotees are taking a boat and just going in the water in the temple room. I saw the pictures. So much of flood that in Assam, the properties, homes of thousands and thousands of people lost. So many people got killed. Did I tell you about the bus incident? No, I haven't. I saw a short video. There is a bus going, and it's trying to cross the river on the bridge, and suddenly the water comes rushing. So the bus slows down, and the water is rising so fast that the bus stops in the middle of the bridge, and the people, they are afraid, they're scared. So they come out of the bus and they jump up on the roof of the bus. And all the bus is empty, everybody's on the roof of the bus. But the flow is just keep on coming, though. It's a flash flood or something in the river. And the water is rising and the bus is shaking. And one guy falls off because of the shaking. And he's swept up, like in a second, he's like gone. As soon as he touches water, he's finished, gone. So fast the water is rushing. And then the bus is shaking more, a couple of more guys can't handle up there. They fall down and they're gone. So finally the whole bus topples over and everybody with the bus is like a little matchbox going in the river and everybody's gone, dead, flushed out. So you can see that material nature, how powerful the nature is. Even though inferior energy of the Lord, Krishna says, this is my material nature. Mama maya duratyaya. Don't try to get victory over this material nature, you won't. It's not meant to be. I saw another one, also in India, there is a province called MP, Madhya Pradesh. And in this province, people were going in the middle of the night. They're sleeping in the train. And the train is crossing the bridge, but the river had another flooding river. And the tracks were broken and nobody knew. So the train fell in the river. And people just woke up in the middle of the death. They are like, the water is just rushing inside the carriage. And now people are waking up and all they can see, and the lights go out when these things happen, then there's no electricity in the train. So in the darkness they're fumbling to get out of the carriage. Most of the people died inside their carriages, they couldn't get out in time. But some people, they managed to get out of the train. And they are trying to swim to the shore, go and save their lives. So some of them were successful, they were able to reach the shore of the river. But snakes bit them, poisonous cobras, and they got killed. So very few survived out of this. You cannot imagine that what the material nature can do. Now, the unfortunate thing is that all these people are getting killed. Nobody told them how to chant Hare Krishna. If somebody had told them how to chant Hare Krishna, instead of going in a club and dancing and watching movies and doing different things like are described in this verse, then by remembering Krishna at the time of death, one can get eternal life that is guaranteed by Krishna. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna or remembering Krishna, one can go back to Godhead. One girl, young girl I was talking to, she said, I don't want to chant Hare Krishna. I said, why? She said, I have no need to. I have read in Bhagavad Gita that at the time of death, you chant Hare Krishna, you go back to Godhead. So at the time of death, I'll chant Hare Krishna. I'll go back to Godhead. So I said, you don't want to chant now, so what is the guarantee you will want to chant at the time of death? You have to practice chanting so much that it becomes your second nature. And whether you are feeling sleepy or tired or in any situation you automatically chant Hare Krishna. When you come to that platform, then at the time of death, there are a lot of pains in the body. There are a lot of emergencies. All the systems are closing down. And the soul inside is just suffering unbearably. So that time, if you haven't practiced, how are you going to chant Hare Krishna? Start practicing. I don't know what she decided, I have no idea. But she had this idea that she'll just chant Hare Krishna, no problem. Right now, what is the need to chant Hare Krishna? So devotees are seeing this different calamities that people go through, the sufferings in the material world, and immediately they remember Krishna and Krishna's grace, Krishna's mercy. So that is what Radha Ashtami festival is all about, to request, plead to Srimati Radharani for her grace, for her mercy, because she is the mercy personified, mercy energy of the supreme mercy energy of the Lord, supreme personality. She is supreme personality of Godhead. Just like Krishna is supreme personality of Godhead, Radharani is also supreme personality of Godhead. And all the energies are coming, all the gopis, Lakshmis, queens of Dwarka, everybody is coming from her. You know about the queens of Dwarka? Anybody has read in Krishna book? After Krishna, he left Mathura, he went to Dwarka, and he had built a beautiful city of Dwarka. Gold, city made of gold, big palaces, everything very nice, top class. Better than even the capital city of Indra. Indra has in heavenly planet, he has a very beautiful place. But this city was built by Vishwakarma, the architect of the demigods, and he had done a marvelous job, beautiful city. So Krishna was there with all his family members, his brother Balaram, parents, Vasudeva, Devaki, everybody. And then a 13 or 14-year-old girl, she was going to be married far away someplace, maybe more than 1,000 miles away. And she decided that I don't want to marry this guy. Her brother had decided to marry her with this fellow. But she said, this guy is a demon, I don't want to get married to the demon. So a Brahman comes to her and he talks to her, he describes to her Krishna's character, Krishna's form, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's attractiveness, his different pastimes, everything. He's talking to this girl. And she says, I want to get married to Krishna. And only Krishna and nobody else. And if I can't get married to Krishna, then I'll commit suicide. I'll die. You know who I'm talking about? What's her name? Rukmini. You are right. So Rukmini is the girl. She's a young girl. And Krishna, he's like 10 or 15 years older than Rukmini. He's like 20 or 25. And this girl is only barely 13 or 14. So Krishna is thinking, because he is Paramatma, he is in everybody's heart, so he knows everybody personally, very intimately. He says, I am the dearmost friend of everybody, and I know what they want. So he figured, this girl wants to marry me. Why she wants to marry me? People will say, she was a little girl, she didn't understand, but you are much older than him, and there is so much age difference. What people will think? Why you want to marry with this girl? Because of this Krishna, he spent all day thinking, what should I do? Then he realized that if I don't go and don't get married with this Rukmini, then she'll commit suicide, she'll die. So I have to go, no choice. So in the evening, at night time, whole night he drove the chariot to this capital city of Bhishmak. Bhishmak is the father of Rukmini. And he went there by the time morning. So this girl had sent a letter to Krishna through the Brahman that I will be waiting for you on the day of my marriage. In the morning, we go for darshan to the temple. So at that time, you come there and get me, because I'm away from the palace, from my relatives and my brother and everybody, and all the warriors and the soldiers, everybody, they are there far away. And I am only with my girlfriends and maybe a couple of soldiers, that's all. So it'll be very easy for you to pick me up. She didn't want to have a big fight and get a lot of people killed. So she had made this plan. So Krishna, he's waiting outside the temple, and Rukmini comes out, and she sees Krishna standing right there with the chariot. And she became so happy. Oh, this mother, what's her name? The goddess in the temple. She's so merciful. Now I have Krishna. I can see him. She became very happy just to have darshan of Krishna, just to look at him. And she ran and came to Krishna and sat down in the chariot. So Krishna said, please don't sit in the chariot, get down. So Rukmini said, everything was going okay, now what's the problem? Why he wants me to get down from the chariot? So Krishna said, you come in the front, you drive the chariot, and I'll sit in the back and relax. So Rukmini said, oh, okay, that's fine. I can drive the chariot. That's even better, because I can drive faster and we can get out of this place faster. So then she was happy. She came in the front and she drove the chariot, and Krishna was sitting in the back. So Krishna thought that if I drive the chariot, then people will say that I kidnapped this beautiful girl, Rukmini. But if she drives the chariot, then people will say, Krishna is innocent, he didn't kidnap. This girl kidnapped Krishna. She was driving the chariot. So the arrangement was very nice. Even though the chapter says Krishna kidnaps Rukmini, but actually when you study you realize actually Rukmini kidnapped Krishna. So they reached safely. They had a little fight on the way, not a major fight. Krishna very easily defeated and killed a few people on the way. And they reached Dwarka. And then later on, he had another marriage. So Rukmini was the young girl, but she became the chief queen. Then in the second marriage, there was Satyabhama. Then there was Jambavati. Remember Jambavati? How she was, because Krishna had to fight with the lion and kill the lion to get the Syamantaka jewel. And then he didn't find the jewel there, so he went inside, more deep inside the cave, and on the other side of the tunnel, he found this place, the city of Jambavan. And then he had to fight with Jambavan for 28 days and 28 nights. And at the end, Jambavan realized that nobody can fight with me like this. And this fellow is nobody else but my Lord, Ramchandra. Only Ramchandra has the power and strength to defeat me like this. So he surrendered. And he offered the jewel, Syamantak jewel, as well as his daughter, Jambavati. So Jambavati was married. Then altogether there were 8 main queens of Krishna that got married. Mitravinda, Bhadra, Kalindi, all of them. They got one by one married to Krishna. Then there was a demon who had captured 16,000 princesses from different places. And they were all imprisoned in his basement, in his palace. I don't know what his plan was. So they were praying to Krishna, to the Supreme Lord. So Krishna came, fought with the demon Bhaumasura, and killed him and released these beautiful princesses and told them, you go back to your parents. So the princesses said, we can't go back to our parents, they will not accept us. Nobody will accept us now, because they will say that you have stayed in the house of this demon, so we cannot accept you back, so we can't return, we have nowhere to go. So what should we do? So Krishna said, at least try there, they may, if you explain nicely, they may agree. He said, no, there's no chance, we know our parents, they won't agree. So what should be done? You marry us. All 16,000, yes, all of us, we want to get married to you. So Krishna said, okay, finally he agreed. He said, I tried to release you from the bondage and now you are binding me up. And not 1 to 16,000. But he is the Supreme Lord, so he agreed and he managed. He gave every queen a beautiful palace, everything very nice arrangement. So we can see for devotee there's no problem. Life here or in the spiritual world with Krishna, it's always very beautiful, relishable, very pleasant. And devotee even doesn't mind, even taking some hardship or austerities for Krishna, to make Krishna happy. And we see all these devotees doing this throughout. Even we see in the life of Prabhupada, how much he suffered for Krishna. He suffered for the conditioned soul. He suffered for us. He was coming to America and he had 2 heart attacks. And he had another stroke attack in New York. And he had so many other bodily discomfort, so many problems. Because it was old body. He came already, he was 70. And then for 12 years, he suffered a lot of pains with his body. And so many problems were coming in those days. Different people were harassing. The movement was very young. But he endured, he tolerated everything. just to make sure that his devotees, and even when he was sick, he would ask the devotees about their health and tell them that take good care of your health. I'm an old man, so I can go any time, but you have to have very nice, good health, so eat nicely. So he would be asking the devotees to take care of themselves. It's very amazing to see how much he actually cared for the devotees, how much he was compassionate, and how many troubles he took. So this is the quality of the devotee. He is ready to suffer for other people. He is ready to take the pains and austerities for the sake of the Lord, to make Krishna happy. And we see this also in case of Srimati Radharani. She is the extreme example of any kind of good quality that you can think of. Then you can close your eyes and you can say, yes, Srimati Radharani, she is the best in this quality. Every quality she surpasses. She's just like Krishna. So Mother Yashoda, she figured out that this young girl, Radha, she's very good. Beautiful, very beautiful, golden complexion. And on top of it, she got the blessings, benediction from Durvasa Muni. You know Durvasa Muni? Durvasa Muni is a famous guy. So he gave the benediction to Radharani. He became very happy. She treated him very nicely. So he said, whatever you cook, it'll become nectar, amrita. And whoever eats your food that you have cooked will have a very long, healthy life. And it's like, he gets the best blessing. So that was the blessing given to Radharani. So Mother Yashoda came, she was knowing this. So she thought that this girl, she should be cooking for Krishna. Whatever best she saw in the world, immediately Mother Yashoda, she would think, I want to get this for Krishna. So Mother Yashoda is also teaching us by example that for Krishna, we always insist to have the best thing. Prabhupada also insisted that. He said, Krishna, he deserves the best. Anything we find that is very good, then we bring it and we offer it to Krishna. So this is the standard that Mother Yashoda had established. So she said, this girl is the best out of all. All the gopis are very good, but this one is the best. So I want her to cook for Krishna. So she was the chief cook, chef, they call chef. She was the chef. And the other gopi assistants, she had so many girls who are helping her. So if you have been to Nandagam, to Vrindavan, you have been there, you have seen too. Anybody else? To India? Okay, so few devotees have gone there. So you know what I'm talking about. Nandagam is on top of the hill. There is a palace at the top where Nanda Maharaj, he used to have his palace, and the whole town is on the mountain, on the small hill, and then you come down, and on the left side is a small lake called Pavan Sarovar. This Pavan Sarovar is a very special place, because in the early morning, Nanda Maharaj and his cowherd men, they go and take bath in Pavan Sarovar around 4 o'clock in the morning. And after they take bath and they come back, then the other people, they go and they take bath, and then the Krishna and Balaram and cowherd boys, they go and they take the bath. And then the gopis, they go and they take the bath. So everybody takes turns and goes to this lake, and everybody takes bath there. So it is the purest place in the world, because the purest of the pure devotees of the Lord, they're taking bath there every day. So the place has become pure nectar. That's why it's called Pavan Sarovar, that even you just touch the water of this lake, you immediately become purified all the impurities go away, far, far away from you, and you become supreme pure like Krishna. Because Krishna is taking bath there every day. Krishna, Balaram, everybody, they're taking the bath. And right next to this lake is the place, the kitchen, and it's an open kitchen, and there are like more than 50 wood stoves, like wood ovens, big pits, and then they put the wood, and they have big pots like we have in the kitchen. Like you can think 5 or 10 times bigger than the pots that we have in the kitchen for cooking the Sunday feast or for the festival. So these big pots have all kinds of different preparations. The menu is written down by Mother Rohini. She's in charge of what we should be serving to Krishna and Balaram and Nanda Maharaj and everybody. So hundreds and thousands of people's cooking is being done. And who is the main cook? Srimati Radharani. She is the one under her. So in the summertime, the temperatures, what's the temperature outside right now? 70? 70, that's a nice temperature. 70 degrees. That's beautiful. You can go a walk on near the lake and have a nice time. But in India, summertime, the temperature goes 110 degrees, 115, 120, noontime. And Radharani is cooking there in the middle of this 50 or more stoves, ovens, very hot, flaming. So many preparations, frying pakoras, kachoris, whatever. So it's very hot. And she's sweating also. All the gopis, they are working there. In the kitchen, in the hot summer, it's open kitchen, so the hot sun is from the top, 120 degrees, and plus whatever is the temperature. So you can imagine, it could go maybe 130 degrees, something like that. So yeah, it's very, very extremely kind of a austere or painful situation to cook in that kind of atmosphere. But Radharani, she's enjoying like anything. Even in the midst of all this hot cooking, she's feeling like cool breeze of 70 degrees on the lake. She's feeling ecstatic. Why? Because she's doing it for Krishna. So she is absorbed in thinking about Krishna. Whatever she's doing, cooking, cleaning, anything she's doing, she's thinking about Krishna, how to make him happy, how to have a meeting with Krishna. She's always planning. And all her gopi friends, they're also helping her to realize their plan. So she enjoys serving Krishna, so she is the best example for devotees that how we should be doing our work and how we should be making Krishna happy. Krishna's happiness is such because we are part and parcel of Krishna. So immediately the soul becomes very happy. As we try to make Krishna happy, the more we become happy, and that's the real happiness. That's the real solution from this miserable world, that Krishna becomes happy, we become happy. So we are learning as servants, as humble servants of Guru and Krishna, Guru and Gauranga. But by this Bhakti Yoga practice, we gradually make progress and we come to that platform. And we can enter into these intricacies of mellows of devotional service that are being described in our books, specifically Nectar of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. That is the book that describes all these mellows in a very detailed way. So Radharani has many, many wonderful qualities that we can meditate upon, many, many wonderful pastimes with Krishna and the gopis, residents of Vrindavan. So we can read about it, think about it. So Prabhupada wanted us to actually do this, that we worship Radharani, we worship Krishna, and we always automatically are able to think about them. Whatever we may be doing, we are able to think about the deities, deity form, or the pastimes of Krishna, etc. So that was the goal that he gave us. And there is another devotee that I'd like to mention, also is a very great devotee and in our disciplic succession. And he had, in 3 different incidences, he received the mercy, because we are talking about the mercy of Srimati Radharani. We also discussed yesterday about something about the mercy of the spiritual master, how we depend on the mercy of the spiritual master, and mercy of Lord Nityananda. So this devotee, he was a 15-year-old boy from a very rich family. His parents were multi-millionaires, very billionaires, very rich people. So he was born in the lap of luxury. Everything you ask for, he had. But he heard the news that Lord Chaitanya has come in the nearby town, Ramakeli. That was the capital city of King Hussain Shah. He was the Muslim king in Lord Chaitanya's time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to travel from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan. He was going. And all the people, devotees and all the people were following him. Whichever town or village Lord Chaitanya would pass from, and he's just chanting and going walking. And the devotees are doing kirtan along with him. And just looking at him, taking darshan of Lord Chaitanya, people would go crazy. And they would start walking with him. Nobody asked that, oh, I forgot to lock my door of the house. Or what about my wife and kids? Whoever saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they joined. So the crowds were gathering bigger and bigger and bigger. And some people, they heard the kirtan from a distance, but they didn't see Lord Chaitanya, so they were running behind. But they couldn't catch up because, the yatra had gone forward a couple of miles or few miles. So they would look for the footprints of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu where he walked, and they would take the dust on their head and rub it on their head, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was doing kirtan and he walked from this, so we can at least get the dust off his lotus feet. So many people were taking the dust from these different footprints that there were big holes in the ground. So much of dust was being taken out. And the crowds were gathering more and more, thousands and thousands of people had camped out outside this capital city of the king. That is where his night halt was. So this devotee, 15-year-old boy, he decides that I want to go also and see Lord Chaitanya. So he doesn't tell anybody, his parents, nobody. Just he starts walking, he goes. Somehow he finds, and he's successful to have darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in his tent. They're building, the whole tent city is there, next to the capital city. Even the king was afraid. The Muslim king thought, who is this fellow? Why so many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are following him? I have to pay my army to keep my big army. I have to pay them every month. And if I don't pay them, they'll leave. Nobody will stay with me. And this is a mendicant. He's a sannyasi. He doesn't have a penny on his name. He doesn't have a house, horses, elephants, palaces, nothing. Not even a hut. He has nothing. So what people want from him? He can't give anything, and still all these people are following him. What is the secret? Then he thought, this guy must be God or somebody very special. Who can do this? that you can have a following of million people running around with you. So he was astonished to get the news. So this boy, you know who I'm talking about, this boy? Who is this boy? Prabhu, any idea? Oh, okay, no problem. So this boy is Raghunath. You have heard about Raghunath? This is Raghunath, and he was born from the Majumdar family. Remember Raghunath? Yeah, this Raghunath, his father and his uncle, they are multi-billionaires, very rich people. Who is that? Remember which Raghunath is this? Oh, okay. Raghunath Das, yes. Raghunath Das, not Raghunath Bhatta. Raghunath Bhatta's parents were not rich. This is Raghunath Das. His parents were very rich. So he came to Lord Chaitanya and he said, my dear Lord, he just held on to the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He just touched the feet and he wouldn't give up the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wondering what this boy is doing. Why is doing? He said, my dear Lord, please save me from this miserable material world. I just want to come with you. I want to stay with you. I want to serve you. I don't want to go back to my house. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is smiling and he's wondering. He says, Raghunath, get up. Do you realize one thing? That you want to come with me right now, but your guru even hasn't come and met me. So how you can come before your guru? Go back to your house. Stay there as a normal fellow, and when the time will come, and then you will come and join me. Don't worry. But right now, you go back. So he ordered him to go back to his house. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had specifically come to this place to meet with Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan. They were the ministers of the King Hussain Shah. And that was his purpose to come here, because these two were the very great devotees. And even though they were ministers, they had built a whole Nava Vrindavan, new Vrindavan, in their, because they had a lot of money also. They were rich people. And they had beautiful deities of Radha Krishna. Every day they are studying Bhagavatam, worshipping the deities, and had, just like Vrindavan scene, they had made this beautiful campus, and they were living there. So they also came later on to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then they surrendered, and they gave up everything, and they joined Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is another pastime. But this is our first time, Raghunath, he received the darshan of Lord Chaitanya. To see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the greatest benediction in anybody's life. And Raghunath, he got that benediction first when he was very young. He was a 15-year-old boy. And from then onwards, he could never forget, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so beautiful, so amazingly attractive, that if you have seen any famous person like who is very beautiful, you have? I know you all are very beautiful. I mean, I'm not saying because you're young and you look beautiful, but I'm saying, have you seen, or you might have seen some Bollywood, Hollywood actors or somebody like that they look very. If you see them live on stage, or you see them very nearby, or for example, this guy, Mr. Clinton, Bill Clinton, he used to be a young man, and he was young. He was very young and attractive and very, handsome, beautiful. So people like that, they have this charisma. They're very tall and big, and they look handsome, and they talk very nicely. So when people, they go mad after this, Hollywood actors and stuff. People go crazy to just see them, and they throw themselves on the path and they do funny things when they see these guys, because there is an attraction for these people. So this kind of attraction is nothing compared to the attractiveness of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was so beautiful, so amazingly, that anybody saw him, immediately they would fall in love with him. So Raghunath, he got this darshan of Lord Chaitanya, but then he had to go back to his house. It's a long story, but then later on, he had done a very big festival, the Panihati. Remember Panihati festival? Panihati is a small town right now. If you go to Calcutta airport, from the airport on the path to Mayapur, on the one side this is the town Panihati. There this festival took place. And there Lord Nityananda, he came personally, and he came with all his associates, and Raghunath Das, he had arranged for this festival to feed everybody with sweet rice and nice preparations. So he was paying his obeisances from a distance, Raghunath, to Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda was sitting on a stage with all his associates. So he saw that far away, Raghunath was paying his obeisance. So he ordered his servant, he said, go and capture that fellow over there. Bring him to me. I want to punish him. So the servant went and he called Raghunath, and Raghunath came and offered his obeisances to Lord Nityananda Lord Nityananda was also very, very beautiful, attractive, handsome fellow, very tall, very beautiful, just like Lord Chaitanya. So he told Raghunath that, come here, you are hiding from me, I want to punish you. So he put his foot on Raghunath's head, Lord Nityananda. He brought him close to him and put his foot on Raghunath and blessed him. So that's how he received. First he had received Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Then he received Lord Nityananda's mercy now. So then he got the chance to be released from his very rich parents and family and get disconnected totally and go and live with Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. So he had that great good fortune, but he lived a very austere life that even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was astonished, was surprised. So even though coming from such a very rich aristocratic background, he showed an example of total Vairagya Vidya, total detachment from this material world. He had a beautiful wife, like we can't even imagine. Even she looked like better than the Apsaras of the heavenly planets. The Apsaras are very beautiful. Prabhupada said that if you have a darshan of one of the Apsaras of the heavenly planet, then you would immediately faint. They're so beautiful. Yeah, and anyway, but then this wife that she had was also very extremely beautiful, but he gave her up. He gave up the whole family, and he went to Jagannath Puri, and he lived with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's disappearance, he was very unhappy. He was feeling separation. He went to Vrindavan, and there his Guru Maharaj, Rupa Goswami, gave him shelter, and he was living at Radha Kund. And Radha Kund in those days, how many of you have been to Radha Kund? You went 1, 2, 3. Okay, the fourth devotee, he went somewhere. So Radha Kund is now built it's built by Raghunath Das Goswami. One king became his disciple and he built for him this Radha Kund that we see right now. At that time it was only a very small lake, not the stone and buildings, nothing, just a little pond. So he had lived there, and he would just chant day and night over on the bank of Radha Kund. And in the summertime, noontime, he was chanting, meditating and chanting, closing his eyes and chanting nicely. And the hot sun is coming over him. So Radharani came, and with her sari she was putting the shade on Raghunath. And she was sweating, but she was protecting her dear devotee Raghunath and making sure that, he doesn't get disturbed and he gets the shade. So she was doing that. So from a distance, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath's spiritual master, was coming, and he saw. He was coming to visit Raghunath, and he saw, what is this? Radharani is giving the shade to Raghunath. So when he came near, then Radharani disappeared. Then Rupa Goswami came to Raghunath. He said, Raghunath, what are you doing? You are giving trouble to Radharani. We are supposed to serve her, or we are supposed to give her trouble? Because you are not building any hut for yourself and sitting in the sun and chanting. So now Radharani is in anxiety and she is giving the shade for you. So this is very bad. You should make a hut. So this is how Raghunath was such an exalted, great devotee that even Radharani would come personally and give her mercy. So from these examples of these great devotees, we learn that the austerity, the trouble, the pains that we go through is the thing that attracts Krishna and makes us eligible to go close to him, to have his association, to have everything, the greatest blessings we get by performing austerities or taking risk or working hard for pleasure of Krishna. All right, so I think we have gone. There's a lot of material. Maybe I can just mention one more passage. There's a very beautiful description given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. He is quoting Jayadev Goswami, and there is a verse that he is quoting. There are other verses that are beautiful about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but I'm just going to mention to you this one verse, if you can. And in that verse, Jayadev Goswami is describing the scene of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in that scene of Srimad Bhagavatam from 10th canto, the description is of the Ras Leela of Krishna with the gopis. So there are 5 chapters in 10th canto that are describing Ras Leela of Krishna with thousands and thousands of gopis. All these gopis are the highest devotees anywhere in the world, in the material world, spiritual world, you name it, anywhere. So they are qualified to be with Krishna, and Krishna had blessed them to have this. He had arranged this Ras Leela for the gopis, and he had expanded himself that for every gopi there was one Krishna. There were thousands of them, so Krishna also became thousands of different forms. And each gopi felt that I have Krishna with me exclusively. So this Ras Leela was going on, and the verse is Kamsari api samsara vasana baddha shrinkhala radham adaya hridaye tatyaja vraja sundarim. So this is about Lord Krishna. He is called Kamsari. Kamsa, the enemy of Kamsa. He killed Kamsa, right? So he is enemy of Kamsa. That he is, when he was dancing with these gopis, that time, Srimati Radharani, at one point, there was a thought in her mind, and she became angry. She thought that I'm not a good devotee, I'm not really the maid-servant of Krishna. Krishna is dancing with all these gopis, they are very nice. They are actually the good servants, they are maid-servants, but I'm not. So, I'm going to leave this dance arena, and if Krishna comes and follows me and tries to look for me, then I will know that I am also a good servant of Krishna. I am a good maid-servant. That was, she came in this mood, it is called mana. She was in the mood of mana with a little bit of anger, angry for herself, that why I am not a good devotee. She was thinking like that. So she left the arena, and Radham Adaya Hridaya. So Krishna, he is always thinking of Radharani, because Radharani is thinking of Krishna. When we think of Krishna, that time Krishna is thinking about us. He reciprocates much more than we can do. So that is his quality. So because Radharani is always thinking of Krishna very intensely, with deep love and affection, so therefore Krishna is also thinking about Radharani. So as soon as Radharani left the arena of the Rasa dance, then it was like an earthquake, it was like a disaster. Everything just became dead. Like, the ecstasy, the feeling of happiness, everything disappeared. And everybody is wondering what happened, all the gopis, everybody. So Krishna, he noticed also, he said, where is Radharani? She's not here. So then, immediately, Krishna left the arena to look for Radharani. And he is following the path where Radharani had gone. So that's the description in Bhagavatam. So finally, he finds Radharani and the pastime goes on. So when he found Radharani, then Radharani thought that yes, I'm a good maid-servant because Krishna came and looked for me. So she was happy again. So that is the description that is given. So Jayadev Goswami and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says that Krishna is attracting the whole world, everybody. Material world, spiritual world, you name it. Human beings, animals, everybody. Krishna is so attractive and he is able to attract everyone. And therefore he is called Madan Mohan. He even attracts the Kamadeva, Madan. And therefore he is the Madan Mohan. But he is attracted by Radharani. So Radharani, his name is Madan Mohan Mohini. That one who is attracting the whole world, that fellow is attracted by Srimati Radharani. Srishti is even superior to Krishna. That's the idea that both of these great acharyas, Jayadev Goswami and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, they gave this idea from this particular verse. So I'll end here. If you have any comments or questions for today's discussion, you are most welcome. Jitendriya Prabhu. Yeah. Is it late? Prasadam is ready? Okay. All right, so anybody wants to add anything or ask? Everybody happy?
Thank you. We just want to thank you for visiting us here in Chicago for these past few days. Prabhu is leaving this afternoon. So thank you on behalf of all devotees here.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with all of you nice, wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.